Hi, welcome back. This is Module 5, which is called Build It Backwards. So just like any typical unit that you're working on, you think about building it backwards toward learning outcomes. And so it's the same in an online environment. I just want to give you an opportunity to kind of check back in with that learning science in case you haven't thought about it and you've been more concerned about how you'll do that in a, through a screen, because that's a real concern. Okay, so the essential question for this one is, if I hadn't given you learning outcomes, check-ins, structure, think time, and a clear sense of progression, would I have done my job? Why or why not? So in the intro video, I told you what modules are coming. I told you why we're doing them. I referred to other resources that we have, okay? And I've talked about, okay, we did this, and then we did this, and then we did this. And so you had a clear sense of progression. I could have done better with the clear sense of progression, I'm now realizing. Anyway, what I'd like you to do is write that essential question, and I'll repeat it for you. If I hadn't given you learning outcomes, check-ins, structure, think time, and a clear sense of progression, would I have done my job? Why or why not? So I'd like you to pause so that then you can have writing time, and then we'll come back, and I have a follow-up thought. Hi, welcome back. Okay, so the follow-up thought is that just like in any typical instructional setting, the best practice is to have summatives and rubrics from the very beginning of your unit, constant check-ins bringing focus back to those learning outcomes that were outlined in the summatives and the rubrics, clarity, you've got to be clear, and logical building toward mastery. This is what we always do, right? So that's like, this is nothing new for online school. This is just regular school in an online environment. Okay, so this is new, not new material. This is totally review. But it's important that you review even in this workshop so that you're like, okay, I got this. This is stuff that I know how to do, right? Okay. So we have resources relating to this Build It Backwards. In particular, there's one about using precise and clear language and then being consistent. And so it's all about communications. And I'll link that from this video spot on the Digital 73 and SMHS Hybrid School websites, because it's all about clear communication when you're online. Because if you don't communicate as clearly as possible, what my mother calls excruciating detail, hat tip to my mom, if you don't do that, then you're going to end up with a lot of follow-up questions. And you don't want to put your students in that position of not knowing, right? So write to your most vulnerable student. Think about your most vulnerable reader and make it clear for him or her. Make sense? I hope this was helpful.